Hey everyone, welcome to Regulatory Risk Insights. I'm Gautam.
And I'm Arun. So, Gautam, what I wanted to talk today was AI system validation, of course. Did you know that in 2025, AI is supposed to revolutionize life sciences as an industry, even more than it has already done in the past few years? And we're talking much faster drug discovery, personalized medicine, and automated clinical trials. And here is the catch. With great tech, of course, comes some great risks, especially when it comes down to regulations. Gautam, what do you think in this area? What are the key challenges which we are seeing in 2025?
So, Arun, AI might help us cure diseases faster and find drugs faster. In fact, just today morning, I read an article on the BBC where a company has got a drug in clinical trials that was completely synthesized and discovered by AI. But here's the thing with these drugs and these AI systems, they need to be regulated properly. If not, it can lead to biased decisions, data privacy breaches, or even serious life threatening mistakes. So, today, let us look into a few big AI regulatory risks that could shake up the life sciences and pharma industries in 2025. Ready to get into a bit more detail?
Absolutely, let's go. So, the first thing that I wanted to think about and discuss is this talk about bias in AI models and how it impacts the underlying system validation that one does. Gautam, you know, traditional validation, how it works, right? We need to prove that a system does what it's supposed to do and do it consistently. Um, Gautam, any thoughts in this area first?
Sure, Arun. Here's the catch with AI. Producing consistent and predictable outputs is very, very difficult, more so with the incredibly complex and large models that we have today. That makes validating AI systems way more challenging than traditional systems.
Totally. Take, for example, an AI powered system for predicting drug stability, for instance. If the AI algorithm is biased or the training data is flawed, one can imagine what could happen. The predictions usually get skewed, it's biased. And in CSV terms, that is validating AI system of such kind. How do you validate a system which is always evolving? Regulators are going to ask some very tough questions in these areas in 2025. Gautam, how do you react to that?
Absolutely, Arun. It's not just about validating the system upfront. It is about ongoing validation to ensure that the system is still compliant as it evolves through time. So next up on my mind, Arun, is another important area, which is of privacy concerns. So Arun, here's a tricky one. How do you handle or how do you validate AI systems that handle sensitive patient data while staying compliant with global regulations like GDPR?
Great question, Gautam. Traditional validation often involves creating these detailed test scripts and data sets. And especially when you're talking of real world data like patient histories and clinical trial data, all of which are highly sensitive, ensuring that such data is anonymized and securely handled during validation is of paramount interest, importance also. It is a massive challenge too. Um, how do you manage such a situation?
That's a great point, Arun. And an important point to consider here is that regulators like the FDA and EMA will want proof that AI based systems are not only effective, but also extremely secure. So in 2025 and beyond 2025 as well, we are likely to see much more stricter validation guidelines tailored specifically for AI systems to address these privacy issues that you just raised.
Yes, and pharma companies will also need to find that sweet spot, isn't it? Using enough real world data to validate their systems, but also ensuring that such real world data does not get compromised in terms of patient privacy. So let us tackle one question that creeps up in these kind of scenarios: accountability. Gautam, what happens if an AI system makes a mistake during a critical process, such as, say, batch processing in manufacturing medicines?
That's a great question, Arun, and very, very relevant to what I just mentioned a few minutes back in terms of the article I read in the BBC. So imagine if I was or you were the CEO or CMO of that company that discovered that drug using AI, right? And if there was a mistake during critical process, that's an absolute nightmare scenario. In traditional systems, if something goes wrong, there is a very clear audit trail to identify what happened, who's responsible, and exactly how it happened. But with AI, the decision making process can be very opaque, and it's what we call the black box problem.
Exactly, that's where validation comes in. In my head, companies will need to not just document what the AI does, but also how it does it. 25, of course, regulators will also look for more transparency in such AI algorithms, especially in high stakes environments such as pharmaceutical manufacturing or clinical trials. What are your thoughts around this, Gautam?
In my opinion, Arun, CSV will have to evolve to include not just validation of the AI system itself, but also the underlying data, algorithms, and workflows that the system interacts with. At the end of the day, it is about creating a clear chain of accountability.
So here is my takeaway from our discussion today. Especially for life sciences and pharmaceutical industry, bias in AI complicates matters because AI system validation is always needing to evolve with the evolving nature of AI. Privacy concerns mean validation must ensure that patient data is adequately protected during validation. And finally, accountability requires this documentation process, which is completely traceable and is geared to meet compliance requirements in our industry. Uh, Gautam, how would you summarize it?
So to me, it is becoming crystal clear that traditional CSV just won't cut it anymore. Pharma companies will need to rethink how they validate AI systems while staying compliant with regulatory frameworks. It is a big challenge, of course, but also an amazing opportunity to innovate responsibly.
Absolutely. That's it for today's chat on regulatory risk insights. It's fabulous talking to you, Gautam. Got any thoughts on AI and CSV? Drop us a message on our LinkedIn's and let's keep the conversation flowing. Gautam?
Thanks, Arun, and thanks everybody for listening in. And we hope to catch you soon again on another regulatory risk topic. Till then, have a good day.